Have you ever noticed that the loudest voices in the room are often the least informed? The person who speaks with absolute certainty about politics, science, or history, yet when you scratch beneath the surface, their knowledge is paper thin? Here's the disturbing part. They don't just pretend to be confident. They actually believe they're smarter than everyone else. And here's the twist, you've done it too. I've done it. Everyone has. Because there's a psychological glitch in the human brain that tricks us into overestimating our intelligence. It's not just ignorance. It's an illusion so strong it can shape careers, destroy relationships, and even start wars. This is the Dunning-Kruger Effect, and once you understand it, you'll see the world, and yourself, in a way that's impossible to forget. It started with a man who thought he had discovered the perfect crime. In 1995, a Pittsburgh bank robber named MacArthur Wheeler walked into two banks in broad daylight, with no disguise, and demanded money. Hours later, police arrested him easily. When they asked why he didn't even bother to cover his face, Wheeler was shocked. "But I wore the juice," he said. He had smeared lemon juice on his skin, believing it would make him invisible to security cameras. Why? Because lemon juice can be used as invisible ink. In his mind, that single fact was enough to prove an insane conclusion. He was confident. He was wrong. And he went to prison. When psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger read about the case, they realized it wasn't just funny. It revealed something profound. Sometimes, people are so ignorant that they don't even know they're ignorant. That discovery led them to a groundbreaking series of studies. They found that the people who scored lowest on tests of logic, grammar, or reasoning consistently rated themselves far higher than reality. In fact, the less they knew, the smarter they thought they were. And here's where it gets even stranger. The truly intelligent people, the ones who performed well, often underestimated themselves. Why? Because they understood how much they didn't know. They saw the complexity, the endless layers, the things still beyond their grasp. And that humility pulled down their self-rating. This is the paradox of the Dunning-Kruger effect. The incompetent think they're brilliant, and the competent think they're average. Which means the world is full of people who are confidently wrong, while the truly skilled hesitate to speak. That's why mediocrity is loud and mastery is often silent. Now think about how this plays out in your daily life. That coworker who explains your own job back to you. That friend who gives relationship advice while their own life is a mess. The endless stream of experts online who confidently dissect medicine, climate science, or economics after reading one meme. They're not faking their confidence. They're trapped in an illusion so strong it blinds them. But here's the part no one tells you. This isn't just stupid people. This is you. This is me. Because the Dunning-Kruger effect isn't about IQ. It's about perspective. The moment you know just a little about something, your brain gives you a sugar rush of confidence. You feel like a master. You think, "I've got this." But the more you truly learn, the more you realize how little you actually understand. It's like climbing a mountain and discovering, at the top, that it's only the first hill of a vast mountain range. That's why true wisdom so often sounds like humility. Socrates famously said, "I know that I know nothing." Einstein admitted, "The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know." These weren't statements of weakness. They were proof of depth. They knew enough to see the size of the unknown. So why does the brain trick us? Partly because admitting ignorance feels dangerous. In the ancient world, ignorance meant vulnerability. So confidence, real or fake, became a survival strategy. Today, that same instinct still works. Society rewards confidence more than competence. In job interviews, the bold candidate often beats the skilled one. In politics, the loudest speaker often drowns out the thoughtful one. And in relationships, people mistake certainty for strength. This means the people least qualified to lead often rise the highest, because confidence sells, even when it's empty. That should terrify you. Because it means much of our world, our workplaces, our governments, even our culture, might be shaped not by the smartest minds, but by the most deluded. And history proves it. From failed wars launched by leaders who thought victory was guaranteed, to financial crashes caused by reckless experts who ignored warnings. Again and again, disasters have been fueled by the arrogance of the ignorant. But there's another side to this story. If overconfidence blinds us, then self-doubt, paradoxically, can make us wise. The people who second-guess themselves, who constantly ask, "Am I really sure about this?" are often the ones closest to truth. They may sound less convincing in the moment, but they're the ones capable of growth. Because doubt is the beginning of learning. Here's something even more unsettling. The Dunning-Kruger effect doesn't just apply to knowledge. It applies to character. People who are selfish often believe they're generous. People who are bad at relationships often believe they're excellent partners. People who are cruel often believe they're honest. Just like Wheeler with his lemon juice, they can't see the flaw in themselves because the flaw blinds them. Ignorance isn't just about facts. It's about self-awareness. So, how do you protect yourself? The first step is brutal honesty. Ask, when was the last time I admitted I was wrong? When was the last time I changed my mind after learning something new? If the answer is, I can't remember, you might be standing on the peak of ignorance without even knowing it. The second step is curiosity. The smartest people aren't the ones with the most answers. They're the ones with the most questions. They live in a constant state of exploration, humility, and correction. That's why they grow. The third step is to notice your emotional reactions. Overconfidence feels intoxicating. Humility feels uncomfortable. But discomfort is the price of growth. When you feel it, lean in. The Dunning-Kruger effect is not just a funny quirk of human psychology. It's a mirror. It forces us to see that confidence doesn't equal truth, that certainty can be dangerous, and that wisdom begins not with answers but with questions. So the next time someone speaks with absolute certainty, pause. They might be right, or they might just be loud. And the next time you feel unshakable confidence yourself, stop and ask, have I learned enough to be this sure? That single pause could be the difference between wisdom and foolishness. Because in the end, the greatest danger isn't that stupid people think they're smart. The greatest danger is when they never stop to question it. And the greatest hope isn't in being the loudest or the boldest, it's in being willing to admit, I don't know yet. That's where real intelligence begins. And if you're the kind of person who craves that honesty, who wants to grow beyond illusions and see the deeper psychology shaping every part of life, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to The Psyche, and let's keep tearing down the lies our minds tell us, together.